So we've got WebGoat up and running, and we looked through how we would actually get it started up under Windows or under a Unix-like operating system. And I've logged in at this point. Now I'm inside the WebGoat interface. And you'll see on the left-hand side here all of the different lessons that are available within WebGoat. And you'll get a little check mark when you complete them. So the introduction is really just a set of static pages that give you some idea of how WebGoat works and some tools that you may be able to use. So the very first one is just HTTP basics. And you'll see we can take a look at hints, and it says type in your name and press go. And I've got some parameters there which I can toggle on and off based on clicking the show params button up top. I can also do show cookies where we've got the session ID. And what I can do at this point is just type my name in and press go. And I've completed the lesson, because what the lesson was really looking for here was just, let's get familiar with the interface. So we wanted to take a look at hints and parameters and cookies. Now I can move on to something like HTTP splitting. So the very first thing that we want to do is be able to split an HTTP response and get some different interaction with the server based on that. And you can see we got a little bit of hint here. You can use the carriage return and line feed. And if you want, we could do some more hints, and you can keep plugging through hints. You never actually get to the point where you get the actual answer in the hints, and sometimes the hints aren't even really that useful to really get you to the final stage, but they're a good starting point. Now we can take a look at access control flaws, and there are some labs here where we've got multiple stages. We've got remote admin access, AJAX security authentication flaws, like password strength here, for example. And this one is going to send us to another page so that we can test password strength. And then all you've got to do is plug the answer in. So I can also do some attacks against basic authentication. And this is really getting us used to HTTP. So it's going to ask for the name of the authentication header and the decoded value of the authentication header. And again, here's where something like hackbar as an example would be useful, because we can do some encoding with it. We're actually going to get a header here. It's going to be encoded. We need to decode it, so the hackbar is really good for that. So cross-site scripting, you can see stored cross-site scripting. We could actually do something here, and it looks like the login field is potentially vulnerable to some stored cross-site scripting, and that's something that you need to work through and figure out how you would actually exploit that vulnerability. So you can see there's a lot of different lessons in WebGoat, and again, you can do hints, and it gives you ways of looking at parameters and cookies without actually using something like tamper data or the Z-attack proxy or burp suite or something like that, which would also give you the ability to look at parameters and cookies and session IDs and so on. So again, WebGoat's really good for just getting some practice and seeing how all of these different vulnerabilities actually work on a system that is really designed to have these vulnerabilities be able to be exploited. And it's something where you can do it ethically without going against somebody's server and potentially causing some disruption to a real site and cause some downtime for a real business and its users.